New report says this country has a highest proportion of adult diabetics in Africa. The number of South African adults with diabetes has soared to 4.5 million people, more than double the figure estimated in 2017, according to a new report from the International Diabetes Federation, IDF, which was released. It means that South Africa now has the highest proportion of the adult diabetics on the continent and the greatest number of deaths due to this disease. The IDF's 2019 Diabetes Atlas shows 12.7% of adults in South Africa have diabetes in 2019, a 137% increase on the 2017 figures of 5.4%. The figures are age adjusted to allow comparisons between countries that take account of the differences in their population's age structure. The report adds weight to a forecasting study published in the Lancet Medical Journal last year, which predicted a large global shift in deaths from infectious diseases to deaths from non communicable diseases such as diabetes, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, kidney disease, and lung cancer. Saturday, the 14th of November, is World Diabetes Awareness Day. And to chat to us about this is the National Manager for Diabetes South Africa, Margot McCumisky. Good morning, Margot.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining me this morning. So, there are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2, that I'm sure many people do know of. What is the most common type in South Africa?
Type 2, most definitely. Type 1 is normally between 5 and 10% of a population of diabetics.
Mm-hmm. What is the risk factors of type 2 diabetes?
Well, genetics plays a big role. In other words, if you've had a father, mother, uncle, aunt, grandparents with diabetes, then you are 30 to 40% more likely to develop diabetes if you add other risk factors. For instance, being overweight, not being physically active, not eating healthy. Those are some of the risk factors that would contribute to you developing diabetes. But often people with type 2 are not overweight. So, it's not a strict rule that you're going to be overweight if you have type 2. But it is a contributory factor.
Mm-hmm.
So with type 1,
Mm-hmm.
it's more of an autoimmune disease. In other words, your immune system attacks your pancreas where the insulin is produced and destroys those cells. So your body is not able to make insulin, and you have to live on insulin injections for life, daily injections. So the difference is that often type 2 can be managed through um, medication if prescribed, but also with a healthy diet and physical activity.
Mm-hmm. But how can we fight the sugar epidemic in South Africa? I know sugar plays a very important role in our lives. We consume so much sugar than we're actually supposed to be consuming. And this is one of the contributing factors to diabetes. So, how can we fight this sugar fight?
Well, sugar is a carbohydrate. So um, uh, carbohydrates are in a lot of our foods that we eat, and it's really the carbohydrates that contribute to our overweight, and we all tend to eat far too many carbohydrates in our diet. So your plate of food should only contain about quarter of carbohydrates, and that includes your carbohydrate vegetables or rice or pasta, meal. Um, we can't have potatoes and rice and pap. We need to select one and keep our carbohydrate consumption lower, because that is what turns into glucose in the blood, and that is what will will increase your blood sugar levels. So we need to look at our diet and eat a varied diet, half a plate of green leafy vegetables, um, water, carbohydrates, and preferably those carbohydrates that contain a lot of fiber, because that will slow the increase of glucose into your blood. And then, of course, some lean protein and also
Oh, we just lost Margot there. 14th September, 14 November is World Diabetes Awareness Day, and I was chatting to Margot McCumisky, the National Manager for Diabetes South Africa. If you have any questions for her, please send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 061 766 Alternatively, you can call us in studio on 010 uh, 88023996 if you have any questions regarding diabetes type 1 or type 2. Type 2 is the most common one in South Africa, and many of us can be affected with type 2 diabetes. So we need to live an active lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. It's not about a diet, but it is a lifestyle. And lifestyle also contributes to many other diseases. Like if your lifestyle is poor, if you're not eating healthy, if you're not exercising, if you're not drinking a lot of water, doing what you're supposed to be doing. We know these things. We talk about them. We hear about them every time, everywhere, but we choose not to follow up on those. So, an inactive and unhealthy lifestyle could also be an opening, a gateway for other diseases such as cancer as well. I know some cancer patients have spoken about having a healthy diet because that has helped them to beat the cancers. So, yeah, guys, comes down to a healthy diet, and let's make sure that we cut down on all the unhealthy processed foods that we love to consume. Margot, thank you for getting back to us. The theme for World Diabetes Day 2020 is the nurse and diabetes. How important is the nurse in supporting diabetic patients?
Well, nurses are very important because often the doctor will just see you for a short amount of time because there's loads of patients waiting. And the nurse is the one that will check your blood glucose levels and advise you on, how to manage your diabetes. So it's very important for the nurse to be equipped and empathetic, and for the patient and the struggles that they go through, because diabetes is a very challenging condition to manage. Your blood glucose levels go up and down all day long, and so many different things affect your glucose levels, not just what you eat, but your activity level, whether it's hot or cold, a temperature that day, whether you are on any other medication, whether you are ill. There's a huge amount of things that affect your blood glucose levels, especially stress and emotions as well. So it's important for the nurse to be empathetic, but also to be very knowledgeable about diabetes. And this is what we want to try and encourage during um, not just now during Diabetes Month, but throughout the next year, for nurses to become very knowledgeable and educated about diabetes and how to encourage patients, because managing a chronic condition is not easy, and people need support. And to support people, you have to have the knowledge to be able to control and help that patient. So that is what we want to focus on over the next year.
Mm-hmm. The warmer weather is upon us, and during the festive season, we tend to go overboard with our eating habits. A lot of drinking, consuming sweet, sugary products, carbohydrates, etc. So, what tips do you have for us to not go overboard when it comes to enjoying ourselves this festive season?
Well, we are all human and we all want to enjoy different times of celebration, whether it's birthdays, Christmas, whatever uh, days that you celebrate. And we should all be able to do that. However, when you have diabetes, it's important not to go overboard. If it's a celebration that goes like for Christmas, where you have a few days where you celebrate, um, or whether it's Ramadan or whatever um, uh, the celebration it is, remember that you still have to control your blood glucose level. So if you do eat something that you wouldn't normally eat, go for a walk afterwards, to help bring your blood glucose levels down. Maybe take the whole family with you, because it's usually a family celebration that we celebrate. And then also, if it's a holiday and it's lasting a few days, pick one day where you're going to have something unusual and not celebrate, for a week, because it's that holiday. Rather just pick one
Mm-hmm.
day and say, okay, I'm going to have a piece of cake, or I'm going to have this or that or whatever, which I wouldn't normally have, and just have one, instead of we all like to have treats and special things now and again, but the importance is moderation. Check your blood glucose levels, and go for a walk afterwards. It's a nice time to spend with family, and you probably won't even realize you're exercising if you're busy chatting with other people. So that is my advice for any kind of celebration or holiday. Just remember, it's important to you don't want to live with the consequences after you've really gone overboard.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Are there any events that Diabetes South Africa will be hosting on Saturday?
Well, we've got a streaming event which is going to go live in the next couple of days, and then also we are doing a workshop for children and parents with parents with children with type 1 diabetes. So that is going to be a webinar, and you'll be able to find more about it from me if you call me. I can send you the link. And it's really to address the challenges and issues that children and their parents experienced when a child has type 1 diabetes. It is not an easy condition to manage with a child, because we know they are growing, that there are hormones coming into play when they become adolescents and teenagers, and along with the growth spurts and the emotions and the hormones, you still have to manage your diabetes, and that includes having 4, 5, 6 injections of insulin a day, and managing your blood glucose levels, what you eat, what you do, um, because on the high end and the low end there of the spectrum with your glucose levels, there are consequences. So we want to help those parents and kids to encourage them and give them information and support.
Mm-hmm. Margot, please share your contact details with us if you don't mind.
Okay, well, it's important to go onto our website, because we've got a wealth of information there, and we've also got an magazine called Diabetes Focus, which you can click on the tab on the website. So our website is diabetes, DIABETES SA. So it's one word with two S's, .org.za. And you'll be able to contact our branches around the country if you're wanting help in your area. But also, please read, the information that is supplied there. Our email mag gets updated regularly every 3 months, and there's at least 20 articles every time addressing and supporting people with diabetes. So, go on there regularly and let us help you.
All right. So thank you so much for your time, Margot, and have a wonderful day.
And thank you. And also, I would like to encourage people to donate. There's a donate button on our website, and it is important, for us to be able to continue to provide services for people to donate, because we don't get support from government, and so we struggle to survive sometimes when our funds are low, and we would really appreciate support. Thank you so much.
I think it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Right. That was Margot McCumisky, the National Manager of Diabetes South Africa. You can get more information on their website, diabetessa.org.za, and there's a wealth of knowledge and information available on their website. You can get also be part of the webinar series for parents and children with type 1 diabetes, how to manage it. It's not easy, especially when you've just discovered that your child has type 1 diabetes. And there's so much that you have to go through, and learn how to manage it is not easy. I've seen how um, people, parents whom I know with the children with type 1 diabetes, how they've struggled, and it hasn't been an easy journey for them. But now, with all the information that is available and all the help as well, they have been able to manage it such that the child has grown up and is able to manage her own diabetes. So if you have any further questions, please leave them in the comment section or send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 061 Once again, that is diabetessa.org.za. You are listening to the Mari Mukonda Show on Salam Media. We will be right back.